Hello everyone, I have been out for a couple of weeks. I didn't be streaming during this time, so I didn't have much time to do almost anything. I was just moving from last version of Unreal Engine to the new one, 4.18, and I was just fixing a few problems that I have, so finally I can just make again buildings, and everything is working, so I can create new builds every night, and I have been continuing working from the same point that I was working before. The only thing that I was doing was adding a couple of new NPCs that is not completely finished, and also there are still missing a few animations, but I have already women here, and I will just add them. Let me show you. If I can just add here, is it fine? Yes. So they had just only the walking animation at the moment, and I was just reusing with this retargeting for sitting, and then sitting, waking up, and idle, but the idle is quite bad, so I need to create a new one and readjust them because it's not working well. But anyway, this one is also working here, and also there are some problem with the texture at the moment that I need to fix. For example, this one is maybe the ambient occlusion is not enough, and also the specular is a bit different from this one compared with that. But anyway, the thing is, I have already different NPCs here. Of course I can use them in the markets, for example, but at the moment I don't have like special NPCs using this model. But the thing is, I have a few more, and also was creating another one for male, but I didn't have time to put there yet. Anyway, I'm just creating a new NPC to have more variations, not having that's the ones I was using. And the another thing that I want to do is, which is fine sometimes during the day, the fog is fine, but sometimes it's too much. I mean, it's almost white washing all the level. So what I would like to do is doing less the fog, but that's the problem, because if I'm doing less with this fog, let's try this. So if I'm trying to reduce this fog, for example, one of the things that is just doing like starting later, so from this point is almost fine, but let's see, just remove this one, so like not visible. As you can see, well, this is quite bad, and the main problem is about the trees, because they are just billboard, all of them. So as you can see, all of them are just billboards quite fast, so that's why they are working pretty bad without fog. So I need some kind of fog to match better, and also the distance, but sometimes it's too much of this fog, and I would like to have more lightning. So that's what I was trying to do, reducing the fog, but in that case it's too easy to see all the the problem with the trees and in the distance, and also the problem is about the time of the day I'm using. So for example, let's say if I'm doing in the morning, early in the morning, which things looks fine here, or maybe so much, but it looks fine. Here is almost white from the distance, as you can see. But if you try for example at 12 midday, which is the light is fine here, not having any fog, and also it's more or less fine looking something far like this one, so this is fine. Let's try more distance for that. There's nothing changing on this distance during time of the day. But for example, if we go try something later during the day, like 4, the fog is starting here, not being so nice. Here is fine, you don't have enough fog at the moment, but then just increasing, and the time that's almost white there again, which could be fine. But the problem is during the night you don't have any fog, so as you can see the trees are not well. So that's when the problem with the fog is going well, until I just deactivate the fog. In that case, as you can see, the trees are not going well in the distance, because it's just a layer between white and black fog, just to remove during the night. But that's the problem, that as you can see that before it's completely dark, you have some times where the fog is not working very well, we're just missing the fog. And then using something like that, that's fine here, but for that distance it's fine. But if you check for example just chart, I was expecting not too much, because I cannot almost see the charge gain. Or just coming here, as you can see we are not so far, but it's completely white, so it just washed out the scene. I would like to have something more, kind of more definition. For that I could use this thing like starting later, or just even the fog of being a bit bigger, but in that case we are also affecting all of the just the distance. So I prefer maybe keeping this one as it is, but maybe doing this one longer, so we don't have, let's say, fog around most of the time, but only in the distance starting, which is solving the problem with the trees. But for example this tree, those trees are not so far, and we have exactly the same problem, so we need to keep this one not so far for those trees not being so creeps. If we try this, you can see for example this one, because I have a problem with the normal of the trees. If we change the time of the day, you can see that's the problem, for example here, or even with them. Look at this, until it's just changing to, because this is a billboard and then this is a lot 5 or 4 or something like that. So when this just changing to be like a mess, it's fine. The billboard is having a problem with the normal, so after some point that's fine. But for that I need to have, let's try again back, this fog. So as you can see, even being here is much better, because we have this fog that is covering most of the thing. But also the problem is the trees are fine, but this house I was expecting to have more detail about this. So here is better, but then everything is being worse with the trees. And in case that, for example, we go to the forest, that's fine for the first ones, but from the distance you can see that all the things are not going well. As you can see, they are completely bright, because it's about the billboard here that is not working well with the normal and the lights. So that's why doing something like that, we are covering a bit more, and it's helping with this. Another thing that I was just doing already, that I was just improving, was about the gain of the light. So I can maybe do something not too strong light, but I was increasing this gain for global light, and then that's the gain. So let's say something like oh sorry, this is the contrast, not this one. I think I need 1.25. This is too much. I don't know if I have a value here. Okay, that's the one that I would like to do, something like that, so we can have more light. And that's also the problem with the fog, that this light is also impacting on the fog. So having more light in the level means you can see easier the fog. So let's say that you move the fog there, so you have more light, because I don't want to be so dark. I mean, it's kind of a medieval time, and I'm not expecting to be completely cleaning everything, but it needs to be, well, that's dark, but not white about the fog. So that's why I'm trying to reduce the fog, at the same time working well with the trees and having some kind of big dark or big dirty about the level, but at the moment seems to me too much. I mean, it's just completely white. So that's why I'm trying to solve with this, reducing the fog, because I will also reducing the fog, which is not exactly what I'm expecting. If I reduce the global fog, it's not well here but not well here, and this is as easier to change the distance where this one is starting. For example, here you can see you don't have any fog here, or maybe it's too much. So something so close to not have any fog, but the rest is fine. And the problem reducing this one is if I change time of the day, sometimes it's too much. For example, maybe at 7, you can see that it's just the fog is kind of in front of you when it's expecting to be also where you are. So in that case, you see, for example, here if I just increase again, it seems better for this distance. It's more realistic about the distance you have with this fog. If I'm just increasing, it seems not so well. But if I change time to 10, for example, 10 time of day, this is working well. So probably there are one option to maybe using a curve also to change the amount of or changing the distance for the fog according to the day, to the time of the day, because just since not working well one single value for the whole day. So that's, for example, see here 7 is fine, and expecting to be close to you. Even we can try just for testing something closer, which could be, seems realistic. I mean, being around you at this time, but if you change time today to 11, in that case you would like to see, for example, here the chart, there is no fog, so that it needs to be something like that. And even during midday, let's change again, we could try even more, something like this. problems about the trees that are here not so far. But anyway, I'm just planning to change the trees in the future because I don't really like them. So I will not spend too much time on trees. Better spend time on lightening the level. So I think that we need to do is creating a cure for start distance. So in that case we have BP blueprints, and I think we have environment sky here. So we'll create a new cure. What's the cure here? Cure, and I will this is a float value. So cure fog start distance, and I will create something like new key, and the time is according to the minutes for the day. So let's say for example 7 in the morning or 8 in the morning needs to be 60 minutes, is something like that. This is 8 in the morning, so let's try 7:30. At this time need to be 500 that we are using. Here, so this is 500, and we will move until 12. So I will add a new key here, and 12 is 720, 100. In that case needs to be longer distance that we are using. So let's try again. We will add a new one to be again probably 500 at if we are using at 7 or 8 needs to be 16, 17, so something like that. We will try to do something like this. And now with this curve we need to modify this and updating the fog here. This fog density, fog scattering here, and I will create a new node taken from another curve. So this is this current time, and what we need to define this curve here as parameter. So it will be any variable. This just fog start distance, and then I will move this, and this needs to be curve. I think it's from. Well, no, this curve from here. Okay, and this one, that's the one that we are here. Get the float value according to the time of the day, and then we just need to set start distance according to this curve. Let's take the value from this and this one. What we need to do also is setting this curve with the initial value for the curve that we have here. Just compiling. Okay. So here, come on. Okay. So start distance. So this is our curve, and now we can just modify the cure, but we don't need to change the blueprint anymore to change this value during the day. So we can try to see how it's going. For example, 7. So the distance needs to be 500. Okay, then change to 8 and see if the value has changed. Let us send this here, and then we are moving to 9, 10, 11, 12. In that case, you can see that, for example, here the charts you can see well, or for example, the houses that we have here, we are expecting to be a bit of the distance here. Maybe the value is too much because I can't see very well all of them. So probably it's too much, but that's easy, just changing here, something like that, and then we need to change the value 12. Still we have some here but not here, and then if we increase the time of the day, it needs to go more and more. And we are just keeping for the night. This is using completely different post process day and night, so we are not using this value anymore. This is only for the fog is just having the color depending on the day and night, and during the night the fog is black, so you cannot see this fog. So it's not really doesn't matter what's the distance of this one, so that's why I was keeping like 500, and that's all, because you cannot see the fog during the night. So the only value that we are trying to use is this one. In the morning, still, well, here is already the fog. I think maybe during the morning at 6 we can try to do something smaller, so let's move this one at 6 and try to put something like that. So what about 6? Well, in that case, I think still we have partly is, so at 6 needs to be 300 exactly, and then 7 is 400. So it's going well. I think it's improving a bit the problem with the fog. Well, at 12 seems to be almost no fog. Yeah, so probably there's no fog, and that's not a problem about the distance. Also seems to be a bit not having this fog. You can see that, for example, the contrast is a bit high for the, for example, for the shadows. And in that case, not having this fog, probably we could just reduce a bit the intensity of the sun. For that, I have also a curve here, so sky intensity, just for testing. This value is 1. I will try to do something like 0.8, just to see if this one is reducing this value or not. Well, it's not so strong, the light. Let's change again. Yeah, this is stronger. Well, I think I will keep this one because, for example, here with the part that you have some vegetation, you are expecting to have this light very nice with the lighting. So yeah, that's the problem with the trees, that they are just moving to the board quite fast. But I need them for the optimization, otherwise it's just hitting all the FPS. So I will keep them. So the problem now is all the trees, but not about the lighting. I'm just working on lighting today. I'm not taking care about many other things. So just think about lighting. We try different places, for example here. 9, 10. What is this? I can just try doing gameplay. That's fine. If we try something like in the evening. That's fine. Another thing that I would like to do is try maybe increasing the intensity of the colors, since also with pale. Not sure if I can do this saturation. I will try to increase a bit. 1.3. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, that's the main problem about the grass, because I was just doing the grass not really strong. Being more realistic and not just so green. But I want to check also, for example, buildings, or yes, for example here I will just check out this area. If we are increasing this saturation, yeah, it's going to be red more or less. Probably it's also too much. So 1.3, I could try something like 1. And see if just improving or not. Well, a bit, but I like being a bit dirty and not much colorful, trying to be like the time is not so nice to be. For example, the houses are dirty, and that's game, for example, saturation seems nicer, of course, especially if you are taking screenshots. But when we here, probably it's better to have this saturation down. It's more, you know, like dirty, for example, for the rain, the ground, and everything. So I don't think I will use this one. I will not increase this. The shadows are just about the color, I think. Highlights, because I'm just only playing with this global. I was also playing with this. Yeah, let me try also change the. For example, here you can use the temperature of the lighting, and I was just trying, for example, something like this. This making more or less the same effect as saturation, as you can see. So if we try, for example, even more, which is already too much, but you can see it's going to be red, and more or less seems to be like more colorful about the walls. Then if we go to the opposite way, you see that is exactly the opposite effect. So maybe here, instead of use this one, that I think is the default value, we can try something slower, and that's the same effect, like being more colorful. The only problem we can have is, as we have seen with the grass here, it is too much. It's just too green. In that case, for example, it's going to be more red and not really about the color. So, for example, here you can see that there's been more red. I don't like this. So it's trying to be like more realistic, for example, with the trees or the stones not being so so beautiful with the lighting and being darker. That's 11. Let's change to yeah, you can see here the problem with the trees, that is like weird illumination. For example, this is problem with the normal. I need to fix also the billboard. It's giving me many problems. For example, here you can see that this is already a mess and not billboard, and you can see that it's doing well and the lighting as well. Oops, sorry. They should move. I don't know what that is. So here you see the trees that when they are a mess, it's fine, the lighting is fine, but you see something far, you can see this completely white, all the lighting that they are receiving because they are playing. And this is the opposite way. Here you see also white, it's black, and you can see here when it's changing the lighting here. The billboard has no shadows, so are not having these auto shadows. Just also for performance reason. So yeah, that's probably that is not lining very well. But when there is a mess, it's fine because you have already the normal is properly done, and also you have shadows here, so everything's working well if it's not far. That's why I was using this fog to cover with all of those things that I have. Let's change also something darker for Let's do something in the morning. Um, about the distance for the fog. This is 7 in the morning, so yeah. Let's try something like 6 in the morning. Looks fine in the distance, but if we try something midday, close to midday. Also, you cannot see here, for example, the trees because the cool distance is just cutting down all of them. So as you can see here, it's just starting, so we don't have any problem with the fog at such distance with trees, for example. This is good. Yeah, the only problem that I can see right now is about the trees. That's the only problem. Fog is fine, lightning is fine. That looks fine. Yeah, that's a big problem with almost no fog. So this is not about the distance is fine. Here I could just increase this one. The problem is about there is no fog at midday, so let me see what is the density here. Well, in fact we have, but this is really small. But that's strange because we don't have even at any distance here. You can see that is nothing. Should be some distance, but not too much. So just here. Probably we need to change also this value. See. Well, in fact, it is a bit fog. Otherwise, we are just deactivating the fog. You can see that it is, but not so strong, and also the distance is not enough, so you can see all of them here. But how's the sulfur? Yeah, when you have lot of space and you can see really far, you can see that the focus is increasing a lot. I also would like to have maybe closer. For example, in that case, I was expecting to have this a bit less. Yes, so this one is 300. Yeah, we need to reduce a bit of. So here, for example, 8 in the morning need to be close to you. The fog here, as you can see, not so far. 7 should be even closer. Exactly. I think it's starting at 6:30. Distance. It's a bit dark. Until 12. For example, here, what's the distance? 500. Yeah, exactly here. So let's move to this. After that, need to be the same distance all the time, but it's increasing. So you can see how the distance is being closer. Here, as you check for example here at this point, you can see that from 12, this is the maximum distance here. Every step is just coming closer, and this is the maximum because after that, all of them have the same distance. Yeah, the only problem is one. The rest of the things are fine. Even this one also have nice distance. Hey, Sangin Dev. Yeah, I was 2 weeks not streaming. I was just moving the level to the 418, and I had some problems that I was just trying to solve, and finally I managed everything. But the thing was, there is a problem with the blueprints, and there are other people that are having the same problem, and they cannot find where the problem is or how to solve this one. And finally someone was just saying that you need to change this events or things like that, which is completely not relative to this one, but it was fixing the problem. The problem was something like migrating the project to another version. So in that case, she's not paying kind of migrating these blueprints or things like that for some reason. So this is not compiling. But if you are creating a new project, this is working well. So for that, you need to activate deactivate events. For some reason it seems forcing to be recreating, and after that seems working. So finally, and also a few things that I have to fix, because of course every new version they are adding a new code for more warnings or more warnings that was but now is an error. So I was just fixing a few things and finally managed to do that. I was also creating a video. I was spending 1 week maybe doing a video, as you can see on YouTube. Let me, I don't know what the video is. I don't know, check the Twitter and you can see the video there. Okay, I have to do here. Okay. Yes. I was just creating a video with just showcase for the level more or less. By the way, they have been using this one today on this Epic Friday. Let me also what is this? Can I just take this? They showcased also the game in this Epic Friday. You know? I didn't know. I was just checking for my website, and I'm receiving more visits as usual for some reason coming from YouTube. And I was just checking the URL that is just bringing here, and I have found this YouTube video from this. I don't know where's this. The video. Yeah, you need to find this video on YouTube. That's great, because I didn't know about this, and they didn't even contact with me or anything. They were just using the video, which is fine, of course, and then just promoting the game. So yeah, I have today a few more visits as usual in 1 hour, all of them coming from YouTube. And then I was just trying to find what was the reason. I have found that they promote on this Epic Friday today. That's cool. I was creating also a new ArtStation page and also Patreon page, updating my profile, for example, here in Twitch, updating pictures from the website, changing a lot of things like that, like social media. So I was spending almost 2 weeks on all those things. Mainly the first week probably was just creating this video for just 50 seconds, because I have problems with I was creating in the past, and I was just trying to do this video, and I have problems with this track view, what's the name of this sequencer, and it was just crashing all the time. So I decided to move to the new version, because I have seen that they fixed a lot of problems with the sequencer. I was working perfectly fine in this 4.18. So yeah, so I was just moving, record the video, and after that just fixing all the problems that I have in the level. So I didn't want to do that before I'm just doing the demo, because otherwise it's just people waiting for that. So I was just finishing the demo, and after that I was just moving to the new engine, because always when you are moving there are a lot of things to not a lot of them, but of course you have always problems if the version is not so old. They didn't fix yet the problems there, so I don't want to move. I was just moving this 18.1 because I was also always expecting for the first hotfix to see if it's fixing the problems. If this is not, then it means this is mainly my problem, so I'm trying to fix my things. But I have found a few times that things that seems to be a problem in my level, they fix later, so I don't want to spend a lot of time for things that are being fixed later. So that's why I was waiting a bit, and during the time that I was moving, things are not working, so I was not streaming during this time. I was only doing this video, as you can see here. I was adding also what is this? What, this is already done. I was adding also new NPCs, and I was using creating 2 females here, and I was also creating this another female. Well, I'm doing all the time, because I mean I'm also creating from the source, and I'm trying to do from time to time, not just almost every day. So I create new things and then doing every day. But if you think that this takes long for you, try to think about 1 megabyte a second. So for example, on the website says like it takes 20 minutes, and it could take up to 1 hour in small computers. Mine is not taking less than 3 hours, so yeah, for me it takes long, like 3 hours to build this one, but this is something that always happens. So yeah, every time that I try to build this one takes really long, and also I cannot do almost anything with my computer because it's 100% of the CPU and 100% of the hard drive, so nothing to do with the computer at the moment. So I'm not doing every day or quite often, but I'm just compiling, trying to migrate the project, and then trying to play this one. If I have found some problems, okay, I'm not trying until maybe next 2 weeks or until the next day's hotfix. But yeah, that's what I was doing. And I was also managing to do also compiling on Linux, and I was just building on Linux, and it's also working just for fun, because it's like a 0.2% of users of Linux on Steam, so it means nothing. In case that 100 guys are playing, only 0.2 will be playing on Linux, so I mean no one will be playing. But just to fix more things, and sometimes I have found that it's just giving me or throwing some warning that it's not throwing on Windows. So this is fine to have both of them from time to time, just compiling, and everything was compiling fine, and the game was also packaging well. So that's good. I like to have no more warnings every new version, and then move on. In case that you have a lot of warnings or problems, it's just a matter of time that finally you have more serious problems with this one. So that's why I don't like moving quite often, but when I'm moving, okay, I'm just taking to the end, fixing everything before I'm just progressing or doing anything. So yeah, I was spending time on this video, compiling, fixing on the bugs and everything like that. And after that I was just creating a couple of them, fixing also a few things about performance, lightning, and today I was just doing a bit more not so dark, but also playing with the fog. The only problem I have are the tricks that are quite bad. I need to replace all of them. So yeah, that's fine. So I didn't do any other thing. I was fixing also a few problems with the NPCs that are just being blocked all the time. A few really small things, not much. So I didn't do much. I was just trying to find a job. I was doing a few interviews, but nothing serious. So in the end, I was planning to start again streaming. I was just watching and streaming until now, and I was just planning to do okay maybe for 1 hour and streaming, and that's all. And I will maybe do tomorrow again as usual, but I think that I will move to evenings, because in the morning there's not much people, and most of the people have been there already, and I found that there are not much people interested on it, so I will just move in the evenings where there are more, more people, more streaming, so there are probably more interesting people on it that can also help in with suggesting during the streaming, stuff like that. But the problem they have sometimes, for example like now, that my streaming is not being listed on this game development, which happens sometimes to me, I don't know, for some reason. So in case that it's not being listed, I have 0 viewers for maybe 1 hour, but when this is being listed, well, in that case I have a few more people. So it's not only about the time or what I'm doing, it's also about the, for some reason, not being listed on this this directory for people that are live streaming. Let me just reduce this one. This is just, let me see. I was reducing this one. Is it better now? So I have my microphone at 100% or maybe 80%, and the music is playing at 5%. So I'm not sure it's enough or need to be even less than this. Because I can hear it on my headphone, but it's almost nothing. Sometimes I I forgot that they're playing music or not. Not sure. So what about you? Have you been working also on the game, or did you finish this game jam? Since I was just checking that you were doing a game there for lighting something. And then after that I didn't see that you are streaming probably. I was also not too much as before in the computer, so I'm not sure that. But I don't think that I didn't receive any email from you that you were streaming. Oh, that's for, well, you have children. If they start the school, you know it's the right time to be sick for all of them, all the time, and then people at home is also sick. Always happen. You have children. You can avoid them every single. I should start modeling things like products here, and I was also planning to model not furniture because there are more things inside of the houses, but maybe dishes and things like that should have. Need to learn still how to do those particles, so I could just put things here, you know. And here, this is things just fill in the houses. I don't know. Do I have things? Nothing? Strange. Let me add some. There's nothing here. I will put one here smaller. So that's interiors. Small one. Hey, what is happening? It's laggy. Oops. It's really laggy. Yes, seems not possible to that. Why is so? And also I have problem with this one, for example. This one is working here and was not working in the another in the another version, was completely broken for some reason, and then I was just moving to this one and everything is again working, you know. So just what is this? Is the house 75? So 75 is working well. Okay. too big. Okay. That's probably the half they are opening the windows and everything. So, for example, here I cannot put anything here. It's just matching with the doors. So this is empty, empty, and also empty here. But I could add here one in case if it is not. Control W. That's too big. Okay, stop touching here. That's fine. Right here one. I would just change the lining, and for example here now this white seems too white. No, it's just too much. Well, this is fine maybe, but this one seems too white already. Oh, look at this. This is really white. Maybe this is about I think this is about the cube map that I'm using. I was also trying a new cube map, but I didn't find anything that is working well, so we just leave for some time. Cube map. Well, it's not about cube map, it's just filling the shadows. But yeah, seems to me too wide. If you are checking from the distance, you can see that this not from this point. But even they have the same white here, is not looking so white, but this one. Let's change the time of the day. Since not so white. Not sure. Could be been darker, but it's fine. something strange with the lining. That is fine. Or this is just maybe by the river. Probably. Let's hide the river to see if this light is coming from. Yes. Because I have different loads from the river, and I have much easier material for. As you can see, it's just taking. There's the river. Just using different shader for the material, much simple shader, but there is a problem with, of course, trying to simulate this reflection from the river, where it's just playing, and that's why it's something strange with the lining. Here's the river. Yeah, you can see this coming from. I see what it's coming from. Okay, exactly. So I'm just using different material for different loads to just simplify. You see, for example, here the performance is Alt8. As you can see, it's so easy. This is green, but you can see that it's almost pink for this one. This is the real side for the river, but this is something much more simple. In that case, the problem is about the reflection with the sound, and also playing at this point should be not so noticeable because you cannot see so high for. But let's go to this hill and to see what is happening. Or in that case, we are not in front of the sun. Open here. Yeah, you cannot notice this one because you cannot be so high to notice this effect. All you can see here, this is just jump. What about walking? Yeah, you cannot even see this cut here. Now it is. Exactly. That's the point for the loads. I should probably maybe work in the material a bit more to improve those cutting. But at the moment the thing is helping a lot to different shaders. I was also touching this one. Over here, but this is still too short. So what I want to do is to see from the water. Okay, I've been for 1 hour already today. I was not planning to do so long streaming. I think I will come tomorrow with more things to do. I was just doing small stream today, coming back after this time. So I will make some plans for tomorrow. I will try to stream during the afternoon evenings So like at this time, but maybe a couple of hours before. So if you are just check what your time now is, maybe in the morning, I think. So maybe you can just mitigate. I think I will continue adding new NPCs, maybe new things for the skill trees that I don't have yet, and a few more things on the user interface that I was not planning to add during the time for the demo, because I didn't want to just break everything. So I think I will continue with this one, and maybe modeling a few things inside or even in the market with some products here, food, fruits, things like this, something to sell because it's completely empty. Oops, yeah, here, the reflection. Yeah, that's fine. So thank you for coming. I hope to see you soon. If you are also streaming, I hope I can join. And see you tomorrow. Have a good day, morning, evening that you have, and enjoy. Bye bye.